Hello, and welcome to the country of Malawi, also known as the Republic of Malawi. It is located in Southeast Africa. Malawi is a landlocked country. It's known as the warm heart of Africa. Malawi has a rich and colorful culture with many unique tribes and customs. It has a beautiful landscape with mountains and valleys and a large lake on the eastern side known as Lake Malawi. Large lake might be a bit of an understatement. To put this into perspective, think of one of our Great Lakes. Lake Malawi is 356 miles long and 52 miles wide at its widest point, and home to more species of fish than any other lake in the world, including 1,000 species of cichlids, which back here in the United States can be bought at the local pet stores.
The people of Malawi are mostly rural farmers with a small percentage living in cities, which resemble cities here in the U.S. with skyscrapers and paved roads. The population of Malawi is around 16.7 million, and to put that in perspective, Florida's population is about 19.5 million, so Malawi's population is about 85% of Florida's.
Simplicity is the key word of Malawi fashion, as their clothing is generally very simple in design. A Chitenje is a very popular article of clothing among the Malawi women. This fabric is similar to a sarong and usually very bright and colorful. They will often wear a matching headcloth and blouse only if they can afford it. Ladies will wear this to every special occasion, as this has been a tradition among the Malawi women. The Madiba shirts are also very popular among the Malawi people. This shirt was first introduced by President Mandela in South Africa. Malawi is a poor nation of Europe, and thus expensive clothing cannot be afforded by most of the farmers. The skirt and blouse dress is usually the preferred article of clothing for women, and the shirts, pants, and shorts are the fashionable clothing you will see among the Malawi men. Shoes are generally expensive in Malawi, so the local people are mostly barefoot. For the most part, the city dwellers and business people dress just like we do.
The farmland and agriculture of the Malawans is essential. They have a saying, Chamanga di Moya, maize is life. Most families grow maize, also known as corn, on any spare patch of ground because it is their main food source, and they use any surplus as a means of income. One large bag of maize can feed a family of 10 for 2 weeks. Families also set up roadside vegetable stands all over the country to provide more income. Some of the interesting dishes are fish with the heads on, lake flies mashed into patties, and dried ants. They also have great skills of drying fish, which can be found through the local markets.
Education in Malawi no longer focuses on preparing students for higher education like secondary school or university. Education is now focused more on agriculture and practical training. Very few students go on to high school and university. Most begin working immediately after primary school. There are two types of primary school: assisted public and unassisted private. Private schools are run mostly by Christian churches. About 12% of all students attend private schools. Primary school is intended for children ages 6 through 13. Many students, however, do end up repeating years of their education. As of 1994, the country provides free primary education, but some schools still enforce contributions to development funds that can be costly. Although more students have access to education, the quality of education has decreased. Today, most primary schools are under-resourced, understaffed, and underfunded. Malawi is among the world's least developed countries, and the majority of their exports are agricultural goods like tea, tobacco, sugar, coffee, and produce. Most of the farmers are known as smallholders, which means the family owns a small plot of land and uses that property to grow food for themselves, as well as a separate crop used to make money.
Things you need to know about credit unions in Malawi. 1. SACCO, S-A-C-C-O, Savings and Credit Co-operative. 2. Malawi Union of Savings and Credit Co-operatives, or MUSCO. 3. COMSIP, Community Savings and Investment Promotion Cooperative Union. SACCOs are the credit unions themselves. MUSCO and COMSIP are organizations that help develop the SACCOs by providing support with education, policy formulation, regulation, auditing, and more. The SACCO's mission statement is to develop, promote, and safeguard a safe and sound network of savings and credit cooperatives. The country of Malawi doesn't have a national ID system, so SACCOs rely on things like signature cards to verify identity. SACCOs are much like credit unions here in the U.S. They are member-owned. Each SACCO has different fields of membership, and their goal is to help educate their members so they can grow financially. SACCOs have different rules than credit unions here. They require a minimum monthly deposit, which instills a savings discipline. The members' money isn't readily available like it is here. They don't have things like ATM cards. The only access they have is by withdrawal or loan, which helps motivate members and keep them on track with savings and not spending on impulse. The SACCOs do have regular deposits that can be withdrawn at any time, as well as deposits much like our certificates of deposit. Loans are limited as well. Typical members can borrow up to 3 times their savings, and borrowing usually requires some form of security, including animals like goats or cows, land, buildings, and other valuables. Typically, members are borrowing for immediate needs, like household items or funeral expenses, health expenses, and other urgent needs. Members also need loans for things like school fees, money for development, small business, or agriculture. The benefits of this conservative structure allow SACCOs to have better interest rates on deposits and loans than banks and other financial institutions in Malawi.
All of this should now start to sound familiar because here at TLFCU, we try to educate our members and encourage them to build savings, get out of debt, build credit, and borrow reasonably because the more they succeed, the more that we succeed. We strive to help our members with their urgent needs and with their long-term financial goals. Credit union philosophy in Malawi is much like our own, people helping people help themselves. However, they do face barriers. For example, their government does not allow direct deposit to SACCOs, only to banks. And the SACCOs also have a limited management system. But against the odds, they continue to grow at a steady pace and continue to educate their members so they can graduate from poverty.